Hi, I'm Jason Holman, and welcome to Sudden Death Checklist Podcast number 4. I'm here today with Jack Veale. Jack has over 30 years advising closely held family-owned businesses with ownership and management succession issues. Welcome to the podcast, Jack.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. This section is now covering the post-funeral stage. And now that the funeral is over, people are trying to move on. But for a few people, the executor and trustee of the estate, the paperwork and deadlines can be way overwhelming. This is also the time for mourning the loss of someone special to you. So there is a cleansing process of cleaning up loose ends. The next few slides of our checklist will help you as an executor or trustee navigate through the emotional administrative details while smoothly working through your advisors to settle the estate. The first thing that comes off is who's going to clean out the closets, the bureaus, the nightstands, and home office. Those things are typically left to the spouse, the surviving spouse, but many times the children will help out. Then there's also the details of who's going to get the gifts, and when do you distribute them to them. And there are also these heirlooms and personal valuables such as wedding rings, paintings, second homes, and furniture. All these, are you going to put them up for sale? You're going to go to a pawn shop? What are you going to do with all this stuff? And it's stuff. Who's going to clean out the garage, the basement, and all the junk that's in these cubby holes everywhere? Social media logins and passwords so that you can communicate with people through the passwords. The decision on surviving spouse remaining in home or moving out is very, very big because if you have a 6-bedroom house and grandma or grandpa are left by themselves, it may not be the right thing to do. Business owners' disposition of the company is also a time where you have to work with your management team and the employees so that the business doesn't collapse, because typically in a business ownership situation, that's the only assets they have. If you are the executive trustee for an estate, here are some key groups or activities that you need to pay attention to. First of all, you need to gather and review the will and trust documents with your lawyer. If there is no trust, prepare for probate court with your lawyer. If there is a trust, you don't need to prepare for probate. You skip right through it. Taking custody of the estate or trust assets is real important. There's a whole list of activities that you have to go through in order to take custody. So you need to get a list of those assets together. And if you have the sudden death checklist, you've already prepared most of that information, so it's not really that hard to do. Once you get settled, then it's administering the estate or trust. There's things like claims, utility bills, people wanting their money from the estate, litigation. Did the business owner have was in litigation with somebody? Support allowances. Do you have any allowances that covered Brother Dave or Sister Mary who are unemployed and need some money? Collecting rents from a rental property. All these things, you got to keep going. You got to keep collecting the money. The cash flow is needed. There's also preparing the financial reports and tax filing deadlines every year, as well as the first time. And the estate and trust distributions, you need to follow the will or the trust, because those instructions is what protects you as an estate executor or trustee from being sued.
Thank you, Jack. Some very important things we need to obviously pay attention to and plan ahead for. In podcast number 5, we're going to talk more about the business, more on the business side of what the business needs to plan for in the unfortunate event that the business owner may pass away unexpectedly. Some things like creating a phone tree for those key people, dealing with partners and shareholders in an ESOP scenario, getting the insurance policies all together, and figuring out a succession plan, helping the directors and the company board through this process, and then dealing with some of the more challenging situations such as banking covenants and the change in ownership clause. All of these things have to be put together, and your spouse and family really do need to have all of this information ahead of time. And we'll talk about all that and more in podcast number 5. Until then, take care.